Hello, hello, all of you beautiful faces. So today we are going to do some epoxying, people. We are going to mix up some resin and we are going to epoxy a couple paintings. So I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm looking for some relatively clean sticks to do this, and then some sticks maybe I'd want a resin after, because I always, even if my sticks look ugly, I use my remnant resin to cover them because it makes your sticks last forever, and then you don't have to keep buying these dumb tongue depressors, which is not what I want to spend my money on. I'd rather spend it on paints and fun things. So today we are using Bitter Boat epoxy hardener. Now I did a lot of researching before I chose which epoxy I wanted to use. And a lot of people don't know, my dad used to make boats when I was young. My dad designed one of the first, I think it's a fork nose is what they're called, a fork nose boat. My dad designed and made one in my yard in front of my face. I saw him do it. So I grew up around epoxy. I had never done it myself until I started painting. So I did tons of research, and this is actually one of the best ones for non-yellowing because it is made to be in the sun. So your artwork could literally sit in a window where the sun beats in on it, and it is not going to yellow because this is made for boats. It's a marine boat quality epoxy. It is meant to be in the sun. So I use this, and it is very inexpensive for epoxies. This gallon set is about $65 with tax, maybe a little bit more, and you can get it on Amazon. So you always want to start with the hardener. I have 2 pairs of gloves on. I took my watch off because I would cry if I had gotten epoxy on my gorgeous gold watch. I have 2 pairs of gloves on because I forgot to take my ring off, and in case the thing broke, I don't want to get it on my wedding ring, and since I didn't want to waste gloves, I just put on a double pair. But let me tell you, I feel like my hands are going to lose 5 pounds from the double plastic of this, so it wouldn't be too bad because the swelling in my hands lately has been insane. So what you always want to do is have 2 cups, because when you're mixing, you always pour from your first starting cup into a clean cup. And I don't know why they do that. I'm going to do a little experiment later, maybe in my next video, to see if I can keep it in 1 cup and pour it on a piece I don't really care about, and see if it has the same effect as not pouring it into the second cup, because I honestly don't understand why you have to pour it into a second cup. It doesn't make sense to me. But today we want to pour this one. This painting right here is going to take 5 ounces of epoxy. This painting right here is going to take 3 ounces of epoxy. So that is a total of 8, which is exactly what my cup is. So I can do up to 10 ounces, but so what I am going to do is, you want a 50-50 blend of the hardener to the resin. So this is 8 ounces. So you always start with the hardener. You want to pour into the hardener. So I'm going to go up to right here on the cup where it says, I don't think you can see it, maybe if I put my fingers behind it, where it says 4 ounces with the hardener, which is this one right here, and it's already open. Now I'm going to go ahead, because of this, I was working with some polyurethane, and a piece splattered on my eye the other day. Now I will not be without my trusty safety goggles, because if this stuff gets in your eyes, fortunately it did not get in my eyes. But okay, so with epoxy and resin, your measurements have to be precise, everybody. Absolutely spot on, or your epoxy will never cure. So you cannot rush this. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to guesstimate and maybe look, this looks like half and half. It will never cure, and you will ruin whatever you're doing. So they make these measuring cups for a reason. So I'm pouring the hardener in first, and I'm going to go right to 4 ounces. And I am going to start pouring really slow when I get to that point, because you do not want to go over even a smidge. You just want to be very mindful to get it as close as possible. As a matter of fact, I'm going to set it down right now so I'm not tilting it. And I'm looking sideways. I don't know if you guys can see my big old head in the thing. Okay, there is 4 ounces exactly. So close that up. You always want to close your stuff up after, because, which is weird, these are supposed to be the same, but you can see I have different levels. So I'm a little bit bummed that my 2 containers did not come with the exact same amount. I have more resin than I have hardener, which I'm not happy about. I'm going to literally say something to them about that. But so now I'm pouring the epoxy in exactly to the 8-ounce mark. That's 4 ounces of hardener, 4 ounces of epoxy. Let me tell you, you guys, this is a workout. If you have an autoimmune disorder like I do, mixing this stuff is really, really challenging. Okay, I'm exactly at 8 ounces, so I stop it. I just wipe it back in there. I have a rag. Fortunately, this stuff does wash off with soap and water while it's wet, so you want to keep, like, I have a bucket of water that I keep back here, which you guys know if you've been on my channel before. When you're working with resin, keep your rag relatively wet, but do not let water get into the epoxy. Okay, so I'm going to move those back out of the way. Now I'm going to use my biggest clean thing, and we start mixing. Now, I don't have my watch, so let me look at my thing. It says 2:57 right now. So I'm going to mix this for 3 minutes. And you want to mix it really well. You want to try to not lift your tongue depressor out of it, or your stir stick, whatever you want to call it, as much as possible, because that gives you more bubbles in the resin. And it is kind of a pain in the butt when you're pouring, but there are points where you're going to have to lift it out, because you have to stir the sides. You have to make sure you get the bottom, you scrape along the bottom. You have to stir this like your life depended on it, or it may not cure properly. And you have to cure this for a full 6 to 10, stir it for a full 6 to 10 minutes. I usually do 3 and 3, and it works really good for me. So sometimes if I feel like I need to go a little bit over, I do that. But usually, now that I'm getting a little more comfortable with it, I do 3 minutes and 3 minutes. So you just keep stirring, and it's already starting to hurt my hands really bad. I have to, like, literally hold it kind of funny, because the lupus has shifted to my upper body now, and I wish it would be back in my legs. I literally hate how this has been feeling, but it is what it is. It's very hard to get up and do things with my hands hurting as bad as they have been. But it gets really cloudy for a while, and then you can see, oops, I'm sorry, I'm lifting it. The resin gets very cloudy, then it starts to clear up. So when you pour it and you start to mix it and it starts to look all cloudy and yucky, don't worry about that, because it does that. It's just part of the mixing process, and then it starts to clear back up. Now what you want to have on hand, I'm sorry I didn't say it at first, I should have told you the supplies you need, is this is a torch, a creme brulee torch, food torch, whatever, dessert torch. You want to use that to pop the bubbles, and you may have to go back and check your pieces in like 5 minutes after they've sat to see if any more bubbles, and then run the torch over it again. You don't ever want to get too close, but I will show you that when we get there. When we get to that part. And so what I want to do at this point is clean the stuff off my stick here, off my stir stick, put it back down in so that I can mix that up again and scrape it. Make sure you're scraping the sides really well, like you're scraping frosting, like you want to get all the good stuff. That's how you want to treat this, because it all has to mix really well or else you got problems. Now let me see what time it is. Okay, it's 3 o'clock. It's been exactly 3 minutes, but I'm going to go just a little bit over here. And then you pour into your second cup. This is turning out pretty good because I can see that I don't have tons of bubbles this time. I usually I can rush and be kind of messy because I don't feel good, and you guys know, a lot of you know, some of you may not, I have lupus and fibromyalgia, so this really hurts. So sometimes I'm like rushing to get it done because like it really hurts my hand. So right now, after your 3 minutes, make sure there's no fuzz. Like I just saw a fuzz on this. Check it, blow into it. I see a fuzz on the side. I want to get that out of here before. Thank God I saw that, because that would have been a disaster. And then pour your resin into the secondary cup and scrape the sides really well. Scrape the bottom, scrape the sides really well. You want to get all of it out of here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape this off really quick. Get that back down in there. Get as much off of my stir stick as possible. Now I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to scrape out the base and get as much out of it, because I personally don't want to waste a drop of resin because this stuff is expensive to work with. And I'm literally, you guys have no idea, I am literally doing this by faith, because my husband has not had work in over 9 months. So what I'm doing, I'm literally believing God for. So, and he is faithful. Okay, so now we got it in our secondary cup. I just set that other cup aside to dry, and now we start stirring this one really, really well. Now I'm going to look at the time again. It says 3:02. So at 3:05, we are going to pour. Mix your sides really well. Make sure you scrape the bottom. See, I don't understand why you have to go to a secondary cup, but I think it's part of leaving what you can't get in the crevices of that cup behind and then remixing it so that you get everything mixed together, because epoxy is a very tricky thing. It can look like you've got it all done right, and then when you put it on, it just doesn't cure. It doesn't cure. It always stays tacky, and that is the bad news. You don't want that to happen. So trust me, that's why I don't like doing it, because it's a lot of steps, and when you don't feel good, the less steps you want to do, but the outcome is so worth it, you guys, because it is so stunning what it does to your artwork. I mean, amazing. And I wasn't going to resin this piece right here, but what happened is I did not let it cure. I don't know if it was the weather. I thought I had let it cure long enough before putting the polyurethane on, because you always want to poly in between. I was just going to poly it, but you do want to poly in between resin, just so you know. But it cracked, and I tried to sand it, and that did nothing, and I tried it again. It didn't do anything. But one of the things that's great about resin is it covers up a lot of flaws. So I'm hoping that this is going to deal with the little imperfections of what that did, and that it will be my gorgeous painting, because I absolutely love this piece. If it doesn't, then gosh, I've just wasted like a lot of money on resin and paints and stuff like that, but you know, that's part of being an artist, unfortunately, is the trial and error and losing, especially when you're a pouring artist, because you are going to pour a lot of paints right down the drain, trust me. Okay, let's see what time it is. Oh, 3:05. So we are ready to go. So what I do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to just tap it, and that's gonna bring some of the bubbles up and pop it. I'm also going to take my torch and go right over it and torch what's on the top. You don't want to ever go close, and I just filled this, so now I'm going to bring this piece back first. I think I'm going to put my silicone mat down if I can find it. Okay. Oh, it's got silicone on it. Or it's, yeah, it's still got some silicone on it. I don't know if I want to do that. Shoot. Nope, I don't, because I don't want to pick any of that up. Okay, so we're going to pour. Okay, I want to make sure I have my 3 ounces left for the other piece. I'm at 3.5. Okay, so now I'm going to take it and start spreading it. If I feel like I don't have enough resin for, and I can see that this is not level, so I'm going to fix this really quick. I don't know what's going on here with this. Okay, let's see. Spread this really quick, and then I want to fix the space, or it's going to cause my resin to go all cattywampus. And I usually check that before, but for some reason I did not do it today. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to do that really quick, just like that. I'm going to fix one of these little legs underneath. Oh gosh, it's not coming undone. Okay, let me, I'm going to do this and try to get this level. I'm going to blow out some of these the bubbles now. See, so I slightly just take it over. I'm not getting really close to it. Just build this, so it tends to do that, pops the flame out. I don't want it to do it over my resin. But, oh, and I see a piece of fur. So you gotta look for things like that. So I see a tiny little piece of fur right here. I don't even know if I got it. There it is. Now I got it. Now there's still more bubbles, so I'm going to keep going over it until the bubbles subside. Darn it all. I'm still seeing the cracking underneath, which is bugging me to no end. And now I'm wondering, am I wasting this resin on this painting? because it's not hiding it. And if that's the case, you guys, you're going to watch me. Yep, it's not taking it away. I see it still perfectly clear. So watch. This is where I'm going to get tricky. And I'm going to literally take the resin right off this piece. And I'm going to put it on this one because I don't want to waste it. Then I can do some tiles. Savannah, do you want to grab me a sheet of those dark turquoise, the really pretty dark turquoise tiles? Are you in here? Up in the bins right there, over there. They're the dark green, teal, the really... Just bring them over. I can't look while I'm doing this, so...
These are the ones you're talking about.
Nope, those aren't the ones, but I can do those. I mean, those aren't the ones I wanted.
Do you know what shelf they're on?
I don't, sweetie. Those are the ones I wanted to do for Joy and Steve. And then the one Michelle said she loved, remember? I'm sorry. Nope. Dark. They're darker. Dark green. Okay, so this is, unfortunately...
Purple cell activator in the middle.
Yep. I'm so bummed about this painting. I cannot even tell you. Yep, those are the ones. Well, they're like those. You can set those there. I can do those, but they're... Look for the other ones like those. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to set this one aside. I'm going to do a little drop here just because if it corrects itself, at least I do have resin on this piece. It may not correct itself. It may while it dries, but those are the ones, baby. Thank you. Yes, those are the ones I want to resin because those are going to people as gifts. Okay.
I'm going to set them on top of the other one.
Okay, so now we're going to spread this one around. Which I have never ever done this before, you guys, so I'm just being really picky right now because I cannot afford to waste resin. So this is like a total experiment of just of sorts that I took it right off another painting onto this one. Not kidding, I never thought I'd ever do that, but okay, let's get this one spread out. And we want to take it out to the edges. And then once we get it to the edges and all these little edges covered, we go over the sides with the resin. And then this is where it gets really messy because doing the sides is really, I'm serious, you guys, a pain in the butt. It is not easy. And I don't even know after I do this if I'm going to have tons left to do my tiles, but I'll give it my best shot. A lot of people take their hands. I tend to not do it because I have lupus. I tend to not take the chance of the chemicals coming through the gloves, which I know may sound stupid, but when you're as sick as I am, you don't want to take chances, trust me, with your health. I already take a lot of chances just by doing artwork. Okay, now I gotta get up here and get this back side. Let's see how that looks there. Okay, now I'm just going along this edge. Oh, this one looks so stunning resined. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think it's looking pretty good. I have to pick it up and check the sides. I like to pick the resin up while it's still wet and go back over it. Now I have to have a cup here to do one of these tiles. Let's see, let me peel this up. Okay, I'm sorry if you can't see the tile. I'll try to put it over here. Let's see. I'm gonna pour this on there. Doing more than one piece when you have the being sick is not easy either. Anybody who has autoimmune knows that. It really messes with your coordination. So this is not easy, trust me. Okay, I don't want this one to drip onto this painting, so I'm going to scoop this one up. Now I'm going to torch. You want to get your sides as well. Oh, see, I got a little close there. I'm going to go back over this one too. And now over the tile. Okay, my little torch seems like it's running out of steam. Which I hope is not the case, because I just filled that thing. Now I got to check the sides of this one. Okay, looks pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is go around this piece and make sure there's no dips near the edge, which will tend to happen on canvases. I don't know why, but it does it. See, like here's one right here. So I just run a little bead along the edge and let it fill in any divots. Make sure you get your corners. Okay, now I'm going to take this and go along. I did not do the sides of this one very well because of the fact that I wasn't sure. Well, I took the resin off of it, basically. I'm just going to use what little bit I've got, just in case something went right with the drying process on this one. I'm going to just hope for the best. Maybe it will fix itself, but I took the majority of the resin off, so it's not going to be like a regular resin piece where it's really super duper thick. Okay, now I'm going to scrape underneath this one, get the resin off the side so I don't get these little bubbles. When I do, I put it back into my cup in case I need to use that to fix any little spots. Okay. Now, it does get really warm as it's curing, so you'll notice that on your hand. When it touches your glove, it gets warm. And you do want to take as much of these drips off as possible because, again, it will keep pulling. And sanding them down is no fun, trust me. I'm going to get that off. That. Okay, I can't even see what I'm doing back there, but just going to trust I'm getting it off. Okay. Oh, now I see a couple little fuzzes, which I'm so thankful because these are very easy to get lost in your paintings. Trust me, and when they dry, they show up. Okay, where is it? Oh, got it. Thank you, Lord. So you want to kind of lean sideways and scan your pieces for a little fuzz. Because it just floats in the air, you guys. Everybody, no matter where you're doing it, unless you're in a completely secure dry room, you're going to get it. Okay, I don't understand what's going on with my torch. I just filled this thing. Come on. Oh, come on. Quit messing with me. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm seeing something on here. It's very easy to lose them, trust me. The little fuzz balls. Oh. Okay, I'm just checking for fuzzies and things like that, which I am finding. Little bits. I mean, I have 7 cats, so it's gonna happen, folks. It's gonna happen. Okay, I see a bubble there I want to get. Come on, pop bubbles. Wow, that's really flying out of there. Okay. All right. There's a little bubble. I think there's something. Huh. I think I want to try and get something to go over that. Let's see if I can get a little piece here to... Once your resin starts to cure, you guys, you can't, it's not good to keep trying to work with it because it gets really sticky, but you'll know the more you work with it, how far you can push it. Okay, I think they look really good. Now I have to get them somewhere. Now what I'm going to do is I take my little sticks like this. I'm going to move this really quick. Just one piece. I'm going to first get it off the bottom. Got paper here. Take my finger so that keeps it from going over the edges. Oops, did I just mess up the top? Nope, I didn't. Okay, I'm going to put this one away. I'll be right back. Okay, now. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up this piece here, my good one. I'm going to hold it. I'm trying to just look at it across the top. I know you guys can't see, but I have to lift it up and make sure there's no hairs sitting in it. No bubbles.
No, Gibson. No. Don't go in there.
Okay, I gotta do the sides here. I know my camera, showing my camera went off, but I can't touch it because I've got resin on my gloves. So I can't see what I'm doing, you guys. Let me see if I can get it with the back of my glove.